Matthew Golick was a specialist in the United States Army, stationed at Fort Meade, Maryland. He and his wife Elizabeth always had a heart for the fatherless, and with the help of Hope for Orphans, they started an orphan ministry in their church. They had 2 biological sons, the eldest born with a congenital heart defect. Doctors were able to repair it, and he is expected to live a full, healthy life. So when they started to explore adoption for their own family, one child from South Korea stood out.
My heart kind of sank when I saw the picture because I felt this connection to him, but I knew that he had a heart problem, and that was scary to even consider.
But they continued the process. Benjamin's heart defect had been described as being similar to that of Matt and Elizabeth's son. But when they asked their child's cardiologist to look over the medical charts, he realized it wasn't the same condition.
I remember the phone call when the cardiologist called me with the prognosis and said, you know, worst case scenario, this child will only live to be 2 years old, and best case scenario, he'll live to be 20. And immediately when I heard those words, my mind said, well, then he's obviously not ours, because God wouldn't call us to do that. I couldn't think of anything harder than losing a child. And just as quickly as I thought that, it was replaced with, I can walk away from this, and for us it'll be over. But for him, it doesn't change the reality of the fact that he has this terminal condition.
After much prayer, Matt and Elizabeth believed that God was calling them down a path they didn't want to walk. But again, in faith, they pressed on.
Honestly, first meeting Ben was really overwhelming. You know, there's the excitement about having a new baby and a new child, but because of his heart condition, his coloring was really blue, and he was delayed developmentally. And so when I saw him, I think the reality of his condition just hit, and it was just very frightening, to be honest. You know, we're just this young couple seeing this path before us that God had brought to us. And the human part of me was scared and wanted to say, oh, whoa, this is way too much. But then I feel the Spirit inside of me gently guiding and saying, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be with you. Where I'm leading you is where I am.
I think I was really holding on to he'll make it till he's 20, and I sort of feel like with all of, well, now over all the years with all of our medical stuff with our children and all the doctors we've been to around the country and moving around, I've really come to see that, you know, we can get a second and third and fourth opinion, and we can go around, and and I'm always holding on to, well, you know, they'll try some new procedure and everything. So I think I was kind of holding on to the best case scenario. I mean, I was prepared for the worst, but I just look back, I remember now thinking just, oh, he's going to live till he's 20, you know, it's not going to be that. I just had thought of it in that way.
But 2 years of surgeries at the best hospitals across the nation were unable to improve Ben's condition. Each operation only seemed to leave him weaker than before. Finally, doctors encouraged Matt and Elizabeth to take a hands-off approach and focus on making Ben's last days enjoyable. But even that proved to be more difficult than anyone expected.